What's up, Taiwan? I'm Sally Jensen with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. In the second installment of this series, Kaohsiung takes a look at how voters in Taiwan will have their chance to shape the country's highest seats of power and how that could impact its ties with China.
2024 could see a new world order, with elections set to take place in at least 40 countries and territories this year, and Taiwan is one of them. Voters here have a shot to elect President Tsai Ing-wen's successor in less than 2 weeks, an outcome that will shape its fraught relationship with neighboring China. Beijing does not see Taiwan's self-rule as legitimate, a stance made clear through long-standing political and military pressure, which analysts say not only targets its leaders, but its citizens as well.
The main goal of the Chinese influence to our election or to our society is to make Taiwanese people convinced they are powerless.
President Tsai is hoping to hand over the top office to her VP, Lai Ching-te, who Beijing sees as an even more dangerous advocate of Taiwanese independence than Tsai. Lai's repeatedly said his view is that Taiwan's future is up to its 23 million people, not Beijing, owning the fact he's not the Chinese Communist Party's preferred choice.
我们敬请国人能够支持中国最不喜欢的候选人。要让他能够高票当选，这个是粉碎中国介选最好的手段。
One of Lai's election rivals, New Taipei Mayor Hou You-yi, has vowed to restore friendlier ties with Beijing, which he believes is key to maintaining cross-strait peace. But he's been clear he opposes Beijing's one country, two systems strategy and is looking to his opposition Kuomintang Party's forefathers to guide his pledge to defend the Republic of China, Taiwan's official name.
是中华民国，我的妈妈这个国家保护着我，所以会守着清国先生的奉献跟牺牲，好好的建设我们的台湾。
Former doctor turned politician Ko Wen-je has been hailed as the less predictable third option for president. He's bidding to be an exception to what he's called a boring, traditional two-party system. On China, Ke also says his goal is to protect Taiwan's freedom and democracy. Taiwan's on the verge of a historic election that could see one party extend its rule past 8 years, the return to power of a more Beijing-friendly option, or a leader who could shake up the local and regional order. With all three candidates stressing that the Taiwanese people should decide their country's future, fulfilling that will be up to citizens as they show up to cast their vote on Election Day. Luffy Lee and Joyce Sun for TaiwanPlus.
At least 30 people have died in the massive earthquake that struck Japan on New Year's Day. Rees has the latest on this developing story.
Terrified residents take cover as the world around them begins to shake. Late afternoon on New Year's Day, central Japan was struck by a 7.6 magnitude earthquake. It shook some buildings to the point of collapse. It's the strongest tremor on record to hit the Noto Peninsula in Ishikawa Prefecture, triggering tsunami warnings and evacuation notices across Japan's west coast.
大津波警報を石川県能登に発表しています。大きな津波を観測中です。沿岸部や川沿いにいる人はすぐに高いところへ避難をしてください。
Those tsunami warnings have since been lifted, though officials are urging people in coastal areas to continue exercising caution. Small tsunami waves have been reported as far away as South Korea's east coast, while tourists visiting ski resorts in the mountains of neighboring areas felt the force of the quake.
I think we just experienced a 7.5 earthquake, pretty massive if you ask me. So the whole room was shaking, the TV was shaking.
Suddenly it get pretty strong earthquake. You can see all the snow from the electric wire goes down, and also from the roof go down, and all the car is shaking, and so everybody was panicked that time.
The full extent of the damage is still being assessed. As daylight broke on Tuesday, footage showed entire neighborhoods razed to the ground. Several deaths have already been reported, with fears that more people could be trapped underneath collapsed buildings. It brought back memories of the last major earthquake to hit Japan in 2011. That quake led to the meltdown of the Fukushima nuclear power plant. But Japanese authorities were quick to reassure the public that a nuclear power plant in the region of the New Year's Day earthquake is still operating normally.
また、志賀原子力発電所をはじめ、原子力発電所については現時点で異常がないことが確認をされております。合わせて人的物的被害については確認中です。
Dozens of aftershocks continue to rock central Japan as thousands of residents seek refuge in evacuation centers. And damage to roads is hampering rescue efforts. The Japanese Prime Minister says rescue teams are considering other options to access the worst affected areas.
これから津波警報が解除されましたので、海上輸送ルート、これが確保できることになります。このように陸上だけではなくして、空輸、それから海上輸送等を総動員して、現地に。
For rescue teams, the difficult job of picking through debris for survivors is only just beginning, as Japan deals with the aftermath of yet another devastating quake. Dolphine Chen and Rhys Ayres for TaiwanPlus.
An opposition party leader in South Korea has been stabbed in the neck at a political event. South Korean media say Lee Jae-myung was attacked by a man who approached him asking him for an autograph. A suspect was arrested at the scene. The attack happened while Lee was touring the site of a proposed airport in the city of Busan. A hospital official says his injury is not life-threatening. He's being flown to Seoul by helicopter for surgery. Lee is the leader of South Korea's main opposition Democratic Party. President Yoon Suk-yeol has condemned the attack. Taiwan's southern cities and outlying islands have issued red alert warnings for poor air quality. Officials say air pollution in Taiwan has combined with smog that drifted in from Beijing and Shanghai. The outlying islands of Matsu and Jinmen are the most affected, as pollution there is expected to take longer to disperse. Officials are working to mitigate its impact and advise residents to wear masks. This comes as Taiwan's Environment Ministry reports an increase in the annual number of days with poor air quality over the past year. The death of a teenager who was stabbed at one of the nation's schools has pushed student safety up the political agenda. Rick Glauert reports from outside the Education Ministry, where concerned parents are demanding action from the government.
Here outside Taiwan's Education Ministry, parents are demanding better protection in schools for their kids. This after a junior high school student was stabbed to death in a school not far from here in the capital, a case that shocked the nation.
我们希望针对这个办法进行一个检讨修订，希望能够还给学校一个合法合理的有法源依据的一个管理权，那辅导学生让校园的安全能够更加的一个扩大。
Violence in Taiwan schools is rare, but in just a few days, Taiwan will elect a new president and a new legislature. An issue like this can easily be whipped up into an election issue. One of the presidential candidates has already promised Juvenile Justice Act reforms if he's elected. The parents here say this government needs to act now to protect their kids. Justin Wu and Rick Glauert in Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
After 10 years of construction and setbacks, Kaohsiung's circular light rail system is fully operational. The line is currently undergoing passenger trials. It was built in phases, with the first section opening to the public in 2015. Now that it's completed, the train takes around 90 minutes to complete a loop around the southern city. Some residents worry this slow pace will increase congestion at intersections. A town in southern Taiwan is turning driftwood into musical instruments. Laurel Stewart takes a look at how a local community is transforming its culture.
A community music group playing rather special instruments. These violins are made out of driftwood collected from the Zhengwen Reservoir in Taiwan's southern Chiayi County. It's part of a push to get older people in Taiwan involved in creative activities. Here they're taught how to make violins that they then learn to play.
漂舞做小提琴，对我这个70几岁老人来讲，根本就是一个化腐朽为神奇，那个精神造出来啊。
It's become a point of interest for the town of Dabu, attracting people from around the country to join the orchestra.
我就开始租个房子在这边，一边学琴，那一边在这边有一些乐团的训练。
And while recycling waste helps the environment, the program also brings added quality to the lives of Taiwan's older people, an ever-expanding group as the country's population rapidly ages.
我们也同时在创造新的大埔文化，然后就是用这个音乐的美学，然后建立我们这边长者的关怀。
While the violins are crafted and played by these seniors, they'll also be sold on for others to enjoy. Blending the natural environment with musical tradition, the residents of Dabu are adding a new tune to retired life. Dolphine Chen and Laurel Stewart for TaiwanPlus.
A creek in eastern Taiwan has seen an ecological transformation, with many species making a comeback thanks to government conservation efforts. Laurel Stewart takes a look at this wildlife success story.
This is Mugua or Papaya Creek in Taiwan's eastern Hualien County. The lush greenery is home to an abundance of wildlife. The area has seen an ecological transformation after the local Water Resources Department started using greener construction materials and streamlining conservation projects.
因为我这边这个生态园区啊，我这边一直是活动区啦，这代表做教育区，我这边专业要做的生态园区。
Local biodiversity had been threatened by overdevelopment and a historic drought earlier in the year. Key species were becoming a rare sight. But now, masked palm civets, crab-eating mongooses, Reeves's muntjacs and various species of fish, shrimps and crabs are all making a comeback.
指标像说，菊石四栖季的部分像是日本秃头鲨等等我想这个部分随着这个环境保护的部分可以感觉发现说，那现在好像有逐渐增加的一个的趋势啊。
Officials are also trying to increase efficiency, communicating across local government departments to save on costs and avoid overlap.
大家透过一些平台会议的沟通，知道说，这个点有哪几个单位会有一些经费的挹注，那大家能够透过这个协调合作的方式，让很多东西就能够钱花在刀口上。
These restoration efforts are not limited to Papaya Creek. Hualien's Water Resources Agency has also been renovating a nearby dike which was damaged by a recent typhoon. An ecological hotspot, now safe from floods, it's an oasis where the public can connect with the local wildlife. Chris Ma, Sally Jensen and Laurel Stewart for TaiwanPlus.
A famous rubber duck is returning to Taiwan. People can catch sight of the giant duck in the southern city of Kaohsiung for 4 weeks from January 27th. The 18-metre-tall sculpture is the work of Dutch artist Florentine Hofmann. It caused quite a splash when it came to Taiwan 10 years ago, attracting 4 million visitors in Kaohsiung alone. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. I'm Sally Jensen, and take care and see you next time.